Most air purifiers are either ugly giants or pretty underperformers. But what could you get if money was no object? Today I'm going to be reviewing the Rolls-Royce of air purifiers. The IQAir Atem X is a $1,400 device that promises style and substance. It's an air purifier that came to my attention during the January 2025 Southern Californian fires, after I received multiple emails from LA residents asking specifically about the Atem X. Now, this is officially our 105th air purifier I have tested, and it's also one of the most expensive I've ever bought. So my expectations are very, very high. So stick around to find out whether the IQAir Atem X truly is a masterpiece that lives up to the $1,400 price tag, or just another overpriced and overhyped device. As always, if you don't want to watch my full review of the IQAir Atem X, here are the 6 things I like and the 4 things I don't. The design looks incredible, and even though it's a big device, it has a footprint smaller than 2 sheets of A4 paper. Performance at top speed is 1 minute faster than the beast that is the Smart Air Blast Mini Mark II, and nearly 10 minutes faster than our highly recommended WinX 5500 II. When running at fan speeds that generate less than 45 decibels of sound, it offers similar performance to the PC fan-powered air purifiers from Air Fanta, Clean Air Kits, and Northbox systems. This is not normal for a HEPA retail device. Another thing I really like, transparent specs. IQAir made available factory-tested airflow reports, detailed HEPA filter grades at each fan speed. It also comes with IQAir's 10-year warranty, which certainly inspires confidence. The app has good UX, useful functions, and you even get a web dashboard with a ton of data, which is something we've never seen before in an air purifier. What I don't like, the Rolls-Royce tier design doesn't come cheap at 1 cent under $1,400. OEM filters are not cheap, and there are currently no generic filters available that could help reduce the yearly costs. It also runs louder at top speed than other high-powered HEPA retail air purifiers. It doesn't come with a carbon filter for dealing with gases and odors, so you only get particle filtration. Okay, let's jump into the full review. I paid £1,349 for our Atem X from Allergy Cosmos here in the UK. It's also available in the US on Amazon.com and IQAir.com for $1,399.99, and we've dropped the links to those in the description. In this video, I will compare the Atem X to the 104 air purifiers we've tested here at House Fresh, based on our first-hand data on air cleaning performance, sound generation, energy efficiency, real-life user experience, and long-term running costs. If you want to find out more about how we test air purifiers, check out this video here. IQAir has been quite vocal about the downsides they have encountered with the KDAR ratings from the Association of Home Appliance Manufacturers. So I was surprised to see that they have sent the Atem X to AHAM for a KDAR test in 2023, which makes the Atem X the only air purifier that IQAir has sent for an AHAM test. With a dust KDAR of 435 CFM, the Atem X is officially the highest KDAR device we have ever tested that has been certified by AHAM. And based on this result, we expect it to perform as well in our particle removal test as the mighty Smart Air Blast Mini, which did it in 15 minutes, and our industrial air scrubber, the AquaAir Clean Shield HEPA 5550, which did it in 14 minutes. Now, I'm talking here about peak performance that you can expect from the Atem X, which is what the KDAR ratings measure. Something that was mentioned in the multiple emails I received during the LA wildfires was how the design of the Atem X would fit the decor of even the fanciest homes. I know these emails probably came from people in the 1%, but I have to agree that the Atem X looks like $1,000,000. Many high KDAR devices are big, utilitarian looking devices that put form over function. But IQAir has broken the mold with the Atem X. Now, don't get me wrong, this thing is still big, but it's been designed in such a way that it has a footprint that is the same as 2 sheets of A4 paper. Design-wise, the Atem X is very different from any other air purifier in the market, with the devices that are the closest resemblance being the IQAir air purifiers in the Atem series, such as the Atem Car. Its circular design prompted a few questions from friends and family who saw it in our kitchen, and it looks more like something you'd see in a sci-fi movie than in an air purifier. In terms of air filters, the Atem X uses the Hyper HEPA filters, which you can access by removing the front cover and the 3 inlet grills surrounding the device. It is disappointing that this $1,400 air purifier doesn't come as standard with a gas filter or any form of carbon filtration, but in some regions like the UK and Thailand you can get a set of Hyper HEPA CF filters if you need to tackle formaldehyde. Hopefully this option will be available in the US at some point. Something I was pleased to see is that IQAir shares the full technical specifications of their filters on their website, which is something we don't normally see from other manufacturers. Like the IQAir Health Pro Plus, the Hyper HEPA filter grade in the Atem X will be dependent on the fan speeds and ranges from H13 to E111. Thanks to a commenter on here who told me the grade of HEPA will correlate with total fan speed. On the website, IQAir also shared the results of 9 third-party tests for a variety of different pollutants. Another thing IQAir does that others don't is include a hand-signed certificate of performance from their factory in Germany, stating the sound levels and particle removal rate for your specific device running at different fan speeds. One thing I didn't expect to see was how cool the Atem X looks once you remove the main front cover. Without it, you can see a red and black fan that sits behind a transparent plastic cover. This means you can see the fan doing its thing, and I must say it's quite hypnotizing, and it was fun to show my kids. And as I mentioned before, even though the Atem X has a small footprint, it is still pretty heavy, weighing 28.7 pounds or 13.5 kilos. That being said, it comes with 2 design features that make it easy to move it around the house: a strong leather strap at the back to lift it, and a stand with wheels that you can clip to the base really easily. The control panel is situated at the back. From left to right, you've got a filter warning light, the power button, an auto mode button, a fan speed slider that is surrounded by color-coded air quality indicator, a light dimming button, a Wi-Fi button, and an Ethernet connection indicator on some devices. Unlike most air purifiers, the control panel on the Atem X doesn't have any screens. Instead, you get a few different lights. The power button will be red when the air purifier is off, like you would expect with a TV, and the light will switch to white when the device is on. The fan speed slider shows 8 dots, 1 for each fan speed, and you will be able to see which speed the device is on by looking at how many lights you can see lit up inside the slider. And then you get to the color-coded container surrounding the fan speed slider, which will rotate through 6 different colors depending on the quality of the air, going from green, good, to flashing purple, hazardous. The Atem Air also comes with full app support using the IQAir Air Visual app, which you may have used already to see the air quality data in your area, as it's a very popular air quality app. But as the main functionality of the app is the air quality data, the vast majority of the reviews are not a fair representation of the UX and functionalities in the Atem X. Once you add the Atem X to the app, you will get to enable a child lock for the controls on the device, schedule routines, adjust the brightness of the lights, and see indoor and outdoor air quality data, and also customize the auto mode, which IQAir calls their smart mode. And you can limit the maximum fan speed to 5, 7, or 8, depending on the level of sound you want. Overall, the IQAir Visual app worked well. I had no issues, and I especially liked how quickly the indoor air quality data showed up on the screen. But with the Atem X, you get more than just a smartphone app. IQAir has a web dashboard, which allows you to control your device and see your air quality data on your computer. I expect the web dashboard to be super useful for those who want to use multiple IQAir devices in one place, like a school setting or in an office, and you can quickly see if there are any issues and control the settings from anywhere. I love the date you get and how much air has been cleaned and how long your device has been running. Be aware that you will need to get a paid subscription if you want to create groups of many devices, add multiple members, create widgets and other features that could be useful to those managing multiple air purifiers. That being said, the free option has many features that will provide a lot of value for home users. So if you are considering an Atem X for your home, you won't need to pay extra to use the app. My favorite app feature is the smart mode options, which I briefly discussed a minute ago. I prefer that my air purifier goes to full power as soon as it detects a high level of pollutants when running in its auto mode. Unfortunately, many other air purifiers in the market have restricted the top speed of their auto mode to save energy and reduce noise, so their devices never hit maximum power no matter how bad the air is. Right, let's move on to the House Fresh performance test to see what happened. First, we tested the Atem X running at speed 8, which is its top speed. According to our Purple Air Zen sensor, the Atem X running at its maximum speed needed 14 minutes to clear our 728 cubic feet test room of all PM1 particles. Based on this result, we estimate a PM1 KDAR of 439 CFM, which aligns well with the AM/PM 2.5 KDAR report. But these results in isolation is not very useful, so let's compare it to other high KDAR devices running at their top speed. I'm pleased to say that spending $1,399.99 on the Atem X won't be a total waste of money, as this device made it to our top 3 of the best performing air purifiers we've tested. The Atem X shares the second spot with the $500 industrial air scrubber, the IQAir Clean Shield HEPA 550, but it was beaten by the massive Corsi Rosenhol box, which you could build at home with a box fan and 4 30x20 MERV 13 filters for just under $200. But it's not just about raw power running at top speed. If an air purifier is too loud, you will turn it off eventually, which is why we measure how much sound air purifiers generate from 3 feet away. And these are the results for the Atem X. Be aware that our background noise is 35 decibels, so the Atem X running at speed 1 and 2 is likely to generate less sound if you could measure it in a silent room. I'm a sucker for an air purifier with a wide range of fan speed options, and the Atem X delivered in the sense with a whopping 8 fan speeds versus the usual 3 to 4 we see from other brands. But noise can be subjective, so please have a listen for yourself. I've also made a comparison with other devices that have similar air cleaning performance. When running at its top speed, the Atem X is louder than most other air purifiers on the table, except for the CR box, which uses a standard box fan, and the air scrubber, which is generally used in construction zones. However, one of the benefits of a larger KDAR device is that you can run them at lower fan speeds and still clean the air effectively. Running at speed 4, the Atem X generates 44.5 decibels, which is below the 45 decibel limit that we set for our quiet performance test. When I tested the particle removal performance at speed 4, the Atem X reached PM10 in 26 minutes, which we estimate to be a PM1 KDAR of 229 CFM when we account for the natural ventilation in our test room. We can compare these results with other air purifiers running at sub 45 decibels. The Smart Air Blast Mini and the Luggable XL from Clean Air Kits were still able to clean the air quicker when running at sub 45 decibel fan speeds, but the Atem X was able to outperform the Air Fanta 3 Pro, the Everest Air and the Levoit Core 600S. But let's start adding up long-term costs to see out how much money you would need to spend each year to run an Atem X in your home. We used an energy meter to record how much energy the Atem X uses when running at each fan speed, also while it's on standby. So if you had to leave your Atem X running 24/7 at full speed, it would add an additional $95.53 to your energy bill every year. As you can see from the table, the Atem X is more power hungry than many other high KDAR air purifiers we've tested, especially when you compare it to the PC fan powered devices, but it uses less power than the CR box, the Blast Mini Mark II and the air scrubber, all of which have similar air clean performance at their top speed. However, it's not just energy costs that add to the running costs of an air purifier. You will also need to replace the filters eventually. IQAir says you need to replace the filters for the Atem X every 12 months. The OEM particle filter set includes 3 filters that you'll need, and it costs $199.99. When we combine the yearly filter replacement costs and the energy consumption costs, it leads us to the total annual maintenance costs associated with running an air purifier. In the case of the Atem X, you can expect to spend $295.52 to run the device at full speed for 1 year. The yearly running costs of the Atem X are higher than most of the devices on the table, bar the CR box and the air scrubber. And the high maintenance cost has more to do with the high filter cost than the energy consumption cost. Just like the initial price, the filter replacements for the Atem X aren't cheap. In fact, the filter replacement costs are at the higher end of the best performing air purifiers we've tested. To be clear though, these calculations are using the 12-month estimate from IQAir, as we always use manufacturer's filters lifespan information. But considering that the Atem X only uses a particle filter, I personally would expect that you would get a longer filter lifespan. For those in the UK, Allergy Cosmos estimates that the Atem X filters could last 3 years, and this would mean a filter cost per year of $66.66, which is less than what we would see from the bonded filters from Levoit. But I will report on what we find with our device when we publish the written review on housefresh.com. So, is the Atem X worth the high price? I can't make a case for it being the best for bang for buck, so I won't even try. If particle performance is your top priority, no matter the noise levels and the long-term running costs, then you should consider building your own Corsi Rosenthal box using the 20 by 30 MPR 1900 MERV13 filters from 3M. But if money is not an issue, then the Atem X is definitely worth considering. Like a Rolls-Royce, the Atem X is expensive to buy and run, but it looks incredible inside and out, and it wouldn't look out of place in a 5-star hotel. It can be wall mounted for an even cleaner look with the optional bracket. It has an incredibly sensitive onboard sensor and an auto mode that can be adjusted to exactly what you need. The app is clean, it works well, and you even get a web dashboard to access your data and control the device remotely. Running at lower fan speeds, it can even compete with the very large Smart Air Blast Mini or the new generation of PC fan-powered air purifiers from Northbox Systems, IQAir, Airfanta and Clean Air Kits. But there is no way around the fact that it costs $1,399.99. If you are okay with spending this amount of money and value design and features, it's hard not to recommend this over the other premium models on the market like the Dyson Big and Quiet, the Jasper and the Molecule Air Pro. With the Atem X, you will not only get the looks and features, but also a higher air cleaning power than all of them. And then you will find devices out there like the Air Doctor 5500 and the MA112 that offer the same air cleaning delivery rate, but they both look like much bigger versions of your standard air purifier. Personally, I think that the only model that could come close in terms of looks and performance would be the Coway Air Mega Pro X, but I'm yet to review it, and some would argue its design is not as sexy as the Atem X. So, should you buy it? If you want the best looking smart air purifier for removing particles with a 10-year warranty and you don't mind the spicy price tag, this is it. But if you're budget conscious, the DIY Corsi Rosenthal box still rules. But let me know your thoughts in the comments as always, and check out our review of the IQAir Health Pro Plus to find out more history behind IQAir. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video.